Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 24th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, the main thing to talk about here really is, obviously, we had a whole load of buy signals on Friday morning. We saw a rally, so far so expected really, but the thing I was talking about in my post on I think it was on Thursday rather than Friday, but the thing I was talking about in my post was that the fly in the bear ointment this week, if there is a fly, is going to be the Thanksgiving tape, because obviously we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which all lean bullish in Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is a holiday, that's on Thursday, and on Friday we have a half day, which tends to be pretty muted, and leans slightly to the bull side. And so the key thing is, how far can the bulls get this week? Can they get far enough to start invalidating some of the big patterns? So that was the thing I was mainly looking at the weekend. In terms of the buy signals, we've still got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed on ES. That hasn't made the possible near miss target yet. The same on NQ. On RTY, it has reached the near miss target. YM has reached the near miss target. And DAX DSTX, which already had buy signals, which had reached the possible near miss target, have still reached the possible near miss target and not reached the full one. All right, so let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Now, if we do see a rally, first big target obviously would be the daily middle band. I've got that on EF at 67.92, well 67.93 really, and on SPX I've got that at 67.63. So they're only 30 apart at the moment. But if we are going to see a decent rally, that's mainly where we would be looking at. And we've got 4 head and shoulder patterns which are broken down. Now these divide into 2 groups. The first one is the first 2 are the ones on SPX and the Qs. These are the least likely to fail, because we have the largest bounces on those for the right shoulder. In terms of where that right shoulder is, where it need to get over for fail, we've got that at 66.70 on the 60-minute chart, and we've got 67.70, I think. Yeah, 67.70. And the daily middle band is continuing down and is currently at 67.63. So basically, we need to get above the daily middle band to invalidate it, because actually the right shoulder high was at the daily middle band. So we will see how that goes. In terms of the Qs, daily middle band is at 615.33. We almost made it to the daily middle band there. I've got, we made it up to 614.03. So very, very close. And of course, all these Bollinger Bands are dropping day by day at the moment as well. So pretty much we're going to need to get above the daily middle band there too. And actually more to the point, actually where this failed was at the 200 DMA, which is at 613.54. So if we see a rally, we can go up to 614, but any higher than that would invalidate the head and shoulders. And if we see either of these fail on SPX or the Qs, I'd be leaning towards seeing a retest the all-time high and no further downside. Until then, I'm still quite liking these targets. I'm thinking we could knock these off in the first week or 2 of December, and then see the Santa rally. So we shall see. Right, Dia is different. We had a more muted rally. It didn't reach the daily middle band, but there's another issue to consider here. Here we've got, let's have a look at it on the hourly chart. Here we've got a potential alternate right shoulder forming here. So if we invalidate by going over here, and the ideal right shoulder high would be in the 469 area, and that actually is a pretty decent match with the daily middle band at 470. So while we might lose this current head and shoulders, we could be forming a slightly larger head and shoulders, which would basically have resistance again at the daily middle band. So I'm thinking if that fails, I will redraw this to put in the second alternate as a possibility. And only if we can break and convert the daily middle band will I'll be thinking in terms of a fail back upwards to the high. In terms of the IWM chart, right, IWM We've got the daily middle band at 241.05. Obviously, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders which is broken down, but actually the thing is we've got two head and shoulders which are broken down. And this is the neckline for the first one. So now to invalidate the second larger one, which I've marked in here, we would need to get back over this high here, which is in about the 239 area. To get it to invalidate the second one, which wouldn't be invalidated by the failure of the larger one, the smaller one wouldn't be validated till we got over 246.38. So if we get back over this level here, which is at 239, I will take this off the chart and I will mark back in the other one with the obviously less ambitious target. We will see how that goes. What I'm saying is, in terms of the key levels here, we can lose the current right shoulders on the Dia and IWM head and shoulders, and that doesn't necessarily affect anything. Lose the daily middle bands across the board. We're looking at retests for highs. Lose either of the SPX and Qs head and shoulders, and we're probably looking at retests of the all-time highs. So that would be my view on that. That would be a shame. We've got some really nice topping setups here. I mean, this on DAX, this is a head and shoulders which is broken down with a target on the 21,850 area. This would be a hard one to invalidate, so I'd be assuming this would get invalidated last. I would note though that I've got a possible RSI 5 buy signal brewing here, so we will see. On Nikkei, we've actually got pretty nice looking head and shoulders forming here too. I mean, look at that rally back up into the daily middle band. I mean, this hasn't actually broken down yet, but if it does, it would have a very nice target down in the 43,500 area. So I'm still really liking the quality of the patterns to take this further down. We will see how those go. If it turns out the center rally has started already and we're going to head back into the all-time highs for December, we will just adapt and and at that stage I'll be looking at the larger patterns forming and the center rally that would probably then run through till after Christmas. We shall see how that goes, but I think I'm still liking the downside here. Basically what I was weighing at the weekend was where are the levels which equities shouldn't cross if we are going to see further downside, and those are the levels. All right, great. So I'm going to try and get a post out today because I know I can't get a post out tomorrow, and it's probably going to be a little tricky on Wednesday as well. So I'm going to try and get a post out on both crypto and equities today. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX still in the inflection point here. This is a possible double top. If we see a hard fail here, then chances are it's going back to the lows. If we see a hard break up here, even if it's slow, then the target would be up in about the 104.10 to 104.50 area. Looking at not a lot to see on the other currency pairs here, apart from we've got a little double bottom here, but if we were going to get a large double bottom, we would see a full move down to the retest of this low here. GBP USD obviously hasn't reached the possible near miss target either. Sorry, the retest of this low either. I'm not seeing an awful lot suggesting that we are going to see a hard fail on DX here so far, but it is a possibility. This is a two-way setup. All right. Yes, Doug is in the room twice, although I muted his second one. Okay, ZB, the 60-minute weak 60-minute sell signal failed. I think I'm either thinking this is a head and shoulders forming here, and this heads down surely, or we're going to break up and retest this high, set up a second high double top, and then likely fail from that. Keeping an open mind on that, but ZN, I would note, already has a double top set up. So I'd be leaning towards the go down fairly soon option instead, but we'll see. All right, CL, we had weak 6-minute buy signals fixed on CL, HO, and RBOB. None of them have reached the possible near miss target yet. We're getting, this looked like a bull flag, but we've now gone too low for this to be a bull flag. It's still a nice looking falling megaphone, which is overthrowing, but I am wondering whether this is going to deliver a retest this low and maybe a bit lower. We didn't quite get as low as I wanted. When we got down to this low here, it may be that we're coming back for that. HO looks rather different because on the bigger picture, we've got an inverted head and shoulders, and that inverted head and shoulders broke up here. We will see. Obviously, this would be the right shoulder low, so we're a long way from that invalidating. But I think that's because obviously it's winter. Heating oil is going up faster than the other two. But that's still a warning sign that we may be starting the breakup from the larger patterns that I've been writing about for a while and talking about for a while. All right, RBOB looked like a bull flag, no longer does. We've got a 6-minute buy signal fixed. None of those buy signals on these three have really been doing much so far. NG, still wondering, the 60-minute sell signal reached the possible near miss target. Shit, I had that down as reaching target. That doesn't look good. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, we've got. I am wondering about a possible retest this high to set up the second high of a double top, and I'm leaning towards the downside. GC, I was thinking last week, if we saw that kind of bearish action, then this would be going down more than actually it did. I'm thinking I think we're probably forming consolidation triangles here, and that the next move on GC, next big move, will probably be rest of the high. Looking at SI. SI, we've got a possible bull flag here, but again, we may well be forming a triangle on Palladium. Doesn't look like a triangle, might be a falling wedge. Keeping an open mind on it, but I'm thinking we may see breaks up on all of these fairly soon. On Platinum, we've got what looks like a bull flag wedge, and we're pretty close to testing resistance. Week 6-minute buy signal fix that hasn't reached target yet. And HG, could this be a bull flag? Yes, it could, but it would be a bull flag triangle at the moment. I'm still, we made the double top target. I've still got a nice looking large double top here, which hasn't broken down yet. And I was thinking that that would probably break down last week while we were making the downside move that we made. So, but it didn't really affect any of the metals that way, including copper. So we will see how that goes this week, but I am wondering again about a possible retest of the high on KC. Made the double top target nicely, nice rally from there, keeping an open mind on direction here. It wouldn't surprise me if we came back up here and made a slightly higher high. We didn't go quite as high as I hoped on the last move up. On SB, we've got a double bottom which has broken up here with a target in the 1543 area. This looks kind of like a bullish consolidation. I'm leaning towards that making target. On CC, we've got a falling wedge which has broken up and retested the low. We've got a little double bottom here. And so we might see a bit of a rally. Bigger picture, I'm thinking we might be continuing down. On CT, we've broken up from a falling wedge here. Got various topping options, little eye chest neckline up here. We've got another one here. We could just retest the low, but I'm thinking we might see more of a rally. On lumber, nice looking falling wedge here. I'm thinking this might deliver a rally. Bigger picture is more downside, no probability. On ZW, this still looks like kind of like a bull flag, but it's starting to break down. One overthrow, one bullish underthrow is fine. 2 seems excessive. So I think something else may be happening here. We shall see. Week 6-minute buy signal is fixed, and there's delivered absolutely nothing so far. On corn, could be a bull flag forming. Week 6-minute buy signal fixed. On soy, possible topping action. Week 6-minute buy signal fixed. On ZL, could be a bull flag. Yeah, but I mean, any lower and it probably wouldn't be. So waiting to see if this is going to need a retest of this low. We do have an asymmetric double bottom that's already broken up, but obviously we've seen a pretty serious retracement so far. That could extend into a retest of the low, setting up a potential larger double bottom. On the live cattle, nice looking falling wedge, hasn't broken up yet. I rolled both of these into February, obviously, over the weekend. HE, decent looking falling wedge, not as nice as it was looking on the December chart, but nice looking little level bottom here, and waiting to see if we see a break up. All right, let's have a look at questions. Okay, right, yeah, sorry, that was that you were in the room twice. That was probably the reason for the echo. Okay, great. No questions. In that case, I think it's a wrap. We will see how this goes this week, but if we don't get over the daily middle bands this week, I'll be looking downwards next week. We shall see. All right, everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning when the webinar will be half an hour earlier. So I'll be putting that in the post when I send it out this morning. All right, take care. See you tomorrow.